So I hear a lot of talk about skills-based hiring recently and have a lot of thoughts. So when I hear that someone is kind of getting really excited and moving towards skills-based hiring, my first thought is like, what were you doing before, right? So was it more pedigree focused, more like credentials, like if you went to the right school, had the right degree, if you studied something, got your BA a few years ago? I'm always a little bit curious. Seems more like we're moving away from discriminatory hiring practices off to something that's more metrics-based. Phenomenal. If that's the move, like I'm all about skills-based hiring. But in the work that I do at Hustle Hunters, we're thinking definitely a step further, because for a startup to thrive, you need more than skills, right? Because we know that the skills that someone brings today, and then in 2 years and 2.5 years, they're all going to be very different needs. And they're going to be learning along the way because you're doing something that's never been done before, right? So there's probably no one in the world that's done it exactly in the same application that you need. So there's got to be something else. So what else do we center? And I find that, when we think about skills-based hiring, it's great because it's tangible and measurable. We tend to lean away from things that aren't tangible and measurable, which makes sense because there's a lot of bias when it's like, oh, I had a great conversation with them. Well, what does that mean? Right? Huge opportunity for our bias to come in. So instead, instead of leaning away from that because we're worried about that bias, I think instead, if we lean in, we find that we're actually able to truly define what that looks like. Figure out what are the core things that we want. What does urgency mean to us, right? As a business, what does it look like in our best employees who really recognize how to prioritize, how to sense what the urgency is for today and then for the future? Is this a big deal? Is this a small deal, right? Let's define what that is. What we've seen really work and what we've seen not work in our teams, and then go get that. So when we walk out of a meeting, we can say, not I had a great call because I think they'd be fun to hang out with, but I had a great call because they showed me that their definition of urgency really aligns with our definition of urgency. So I think culturally, they're probably going to be a good match for us, right? So the further that we lean in there, the better that we can get that identification and that alignment on mission, on impact, et cetera, et cetera. So I love talking about these things, but I'm really excited about what is that next evolution beyond skills-based hiring, where we're really taking that holistic approach. And we need a buzzword for that, right? Curious what y'all are thinking when you see skills-based hiring out there. Have you tried to kind of hire based on values and culture and kind of that X factor and really getting in and defining that? What does that look like for y'all? Thanks.